Hey physics people, so let's start off and do some of these trophies that I assigned on Coulomb's law. So I'm going to do a few. Hopefully this will get you guys started and then you'll be able to do them on your own. So it might be nice to have a calculator around because this one you have to do a little math. So just have your calculator open. Okay, so let's get started on the apprentice level. All right. Okay, so it says object 1 and object 2 attract each other with electrostatic force of 36 units. If the charge of object 2 is tripled, then the new electrostatic force will be what? So here we have to remember that force is proportional to the two charges, Q1 and Q2. This just means proportional. So the real equation is F is equal to K Q1 Q2 over my radius squared. But you can see that the radius isn't changing and this is a constant. So all I really care about is the two charges. And it means if I double one of these charges, it doubles the force. If I triple a charge, it triples the force. Okay, so let's erase this guy. Okay, so here we have 36 units. So we have 36 units. But you are tripling one of the charges. So keep Q1 the same. But here we're tripling this. So whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. And 3 times 36 is 108. So the answer here, that's a multiplication, is 108. So let's type this in. Okay, so let's do it again. All right, erase this. So it says object 1 attract each other with electrostatic of that of 36. If charge 1 is halved, then the new electrostatic force becomes what? So here I'm going to, my original one was 36. But over here I'm going to 1/2 object 1. So I'm going to 1/2. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. And if I go half of 36, I get 18. All right, so let's go to the second batch here. I'm going to change this so I have a bigger eraser, maybe medium size. And I'm going to change my pen color. Okay. All right, let's go to the next set. Okay, distance matters. All right, so now we're going to be talking about how distance affects it. So distance, remember our equation is F is equal to K Q1 Q2 over radius squared. Now, if we keep the charges the same, then we can say F is proportional. So you have the proportionality, you can think it's really similar to the equal sign, but here we don't care about what's on top. We just care about this radius squared. So we care about the radius squared. Okay, so the force here is 18. And then I have the radius is halved. So I have 1/2 r squared. This whole thing is squared. Well, notice I did a 1/2 squared here. So let me rewrite this up here. Whenever I have something squared, I'm going to put it like this. So 1/2 squared is 1/4, because 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4. So I have 1/4 r squared. All right, so here it's a little bit tricky. I have this as 1/4, so note that they're coming closer to each other. So they're coming closer, so this 18 is going to get bigger. So when you divide by 1/4, it's the same as multiplying by 4. So I get 18 by times 4. 18 times 4, and then that gives me 72. All right, let's do another one. So another one, let's go, here we have objects 1 and 2 attract each other with 36 units. If the distance is doubled, then what would the new electrostatic be? Well, think about this. If we have these two charges with this radius, well, if I double the radius, is my force going to go up or go down? It's going to go down because you're getting farther away. So we're keeping the charges the same, so we use the proportionality. So 1 over r squared. But in this case, we are doubling the r. So if I double the r, that means that I have F is proportional to, well, here, I'll write it over here. If I double the r, what I'm doing is doing this on this side. So note that I have 1 over 2 squared. So that's the same thing as 1 over 4. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but see how this is 4? So that's, if I have divided by 4 over here, I have to do the same thing to this side. So this is going to give me 36 divided by 4, which is 9. Okay, so let's go 9 here. All right. This one I'm going to do without writing down all the steps. So let's do this one just in our head. Okay, object 1 and 2 attract each other with a force of that. If the distance is tripled, then the new electrostatic force will be, so if we have F proportional to 1 over r squared, so if we triple this, really what that's doing is a 3 squared. That means you're dividing both sides by 9. So I'm going to divide that by 9. 36 divided by 9 is 4. Okay, let's go to the last one now. I think the last one is the challenging one. Wizard is always challenging. Okay, now we have a force of 18. So object 1 is 1/3, and the charge on object 2 is doubled, and the distance separating objects 1 and 2 is doubled. All right, so this one is tricky. So let's come through, and now we have F equals K Q1 Q2 over radius squared. So I'm going to write all of this down. So let's write it with, my original force was 36. All right, now it's saying that the that we have our Q's are 1/3, and the charge object 1 is 1/3 the original volume, and object 2 is doubled. Okay, so here we have object 1 is 1/3. I'll keep my K here. 1/3 Q, and object 2 is double. I'm running out of room here. Okay, so equals K. Q1 is 1/3 Q1. Object 2 is doubled, and the distance separating object 1 and 2 is doubled. Okay, so here 1/3 times 2 is 2/3. So here I'm multiplying this top by 2/3. And then I'm dividing by 4. So you can see this is 2 times 1/3 is 2/3. So I multiplied the top by 2/3. And I'm dividing the bottom by 4. So that means I have to come down here and divide by 4. All right, now let's clean this up. This is 2 over 12. So 2 over 12 is 1/6. So if I divide my force, which was 18, divided by 6, I get 3. All right, let's do one more. These are hard. Okay, object 1 and 2 attract each other with 18 units. So let's try just using numbers here. Maybe this will help you set it up. So we got object 18. Object 1 is 1/4 the original value. So on this side we have a 1/4, and charge 2 is tripled, so times 3, and the distance separated is half. So I'm going to put 1/2 squared here. Okay, let's come over here. So here I have 3/4, so I multiplied that side by 3/4, so I have to multiply this side by 3/4. And here I have divided by 1/2 squared. So whenever I'm dividing by a fraction, it's the same as multiplying. So I'm going to come over here and multiply this by 4. So because that's 1/2 squared. And then the 4's cancel out, and I get 3 times 18, which is 54. All right, hope this helps. And remember that the wizard level is really tricky. And if you're ever stuck on it, you can always go to the help me button, and the help me will help you out through this. Okay, so hope this helped.